What up, everybody? We're here in the lab. Got Arlo chilling next to me here. We're gonna dive in and set up our PlayStation for an open practice environment. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is go over to training, and you're gonna go to open practice. That's gonna be the setup. You're gonna wanna choose normal. And from here, you wanna choose your team. So today, I know that we're gonna go ahead and use Louisiana Tech, as they have a playbook that is similar. It's not the same. On the playbook, we'll be releasing a playbook at the end of this series that you can download, which will be the plays in the offense. I like to make it Louisiana Tech versus Louisiana Tech, so it has that practice type feel, but you might need to adjust the playbook based on the defense you want to see. For the first time you do this, I would not get that deep into the weeds. I would just set it up and keep it super simple early, but the ability to get advanced is here. All right, so when picking your play, you're just gonna try to get into something that looks like your offense. It doesn't need to be exactly the same personnel, if you will. So don't get too hung up on 10 or 11 personnel necessarily. Worry about the concept, and that will help you out the most. And so we're looking for, in the Louisiana Tech playbook, they have a really simple Y cross, which is gonna be coupled with Ohio. So we're gonna have the 5 out, we're gonna have the vertical from number 1, we'll have the U-SOM from number 2, and then the curl flat backside like we talked about. Again, where is this in the teaching progression? We've shown the paper, they've written it down, they have seen the film, and now before they leave the meeting room, they're gonna execute this. This is another thing you can also do with your staff install to make sure everybody fully understands your concepts. All right, before we get too deep into the weeds and the games, let's go over cross so that we all know what we're talking about and speaking the same language. So for us, cross is gonna be a play that we're gonna read from a front side to a back side. In this case, we're gonna run some cross left, and there's some non-negotiables to the play when we run this. First of all, when we teach quarterbacks, we always want them to verbalize their reads as a progression read team. And we will always have something on the front side that is going vertical, a post, maybe a slot fade, a go, doesn't matter. You can mix and match your front side with whatever you want. The middle will have a crosser most of the time. We'll get to that in a minute. And the back side of the play will always, if possible, have a curl flat combination. Always will have a curl, and if possible, have a curl flat stretch on the defense back side. But you can also move backs around. So in this case, we're going to get rid of a front side of the route. Maybe you're in split backs here. Maybe you have a tight end on the line. You want to keep him into protection. Maybe you're in trips. You're still reading left, middle, right. You just happen to have a different concept. So now, again, let's pretend that the triangle receiver, which would be our H there, is in the backfield blocking. You still read left, middle, right. The reason we don't call this crosser necessarily all the time, and I know you're on a podcast about why cross, we can get rid of the crosser. He can also be a guy in the backfield. And then when we get rid of him, we now have a front side to backside read. We don't have a middle read necessarily. And so we drop the middle, but the left to right teaching progression remains the same. This is up for the quarterback to be taught that when you are in a split back type look and you run cross left with the split backs to the left, there is no crosser. We're always going to protect the front side route and the backside curl. Those are going to be the non-negotiables when we keep this. So what's our recommendation when running cross left? Give it some type of left code name and stop calling it cross left, because it's not always a cross left. Call it lefty, give it a Louis, limbo. It doesn't matter. Give it something. Let's look at a few NCAA plays before we get back into the lab and start playing these. Here's cross left out of a 2x2 look. You can see at the top left, we have the slot fade look. We have the Ohio look that we're working right now in the middle. Here's a cross right, an H cross look. We would give this, the top right there, we would call this righty or Ringo or some R name, but it doesn't change it. It would just be right middle left on this, and the progression remains the same. You even still get the curl flat stretch on the backside in that look. Going down to the second row, very similar to what we've already talked about, the Ohio concept. You can do all sorts of things to this. You can add and mix and match. We can go into 3x1. On 3x1, we're going to try to keep the number one receiver as your vertical threat, and then bring some type of crosser across the field if possible, and then always finish this thing up with a backside curl. We can do it in 20 personnel. Pretty popular way to do this because you can max protect if you want. Maybe you don't care about the back to the front side. Maybe you don't care about the curl flat stretch on the backside. So here's a bunch of ways out of 20 personnel. As we mentioned, if you were to run this to the two receiver side, you would lose the crosser and you would just have your front side route. As a general rule, I like to teach the front side route being a 10-yard sail route as our default. Give it a default front side tag because go sail is a pretty good way to chop that up. You can do this out of empty combined with stick here on the front side. You can motion into empty. Obviously, you lose time. You have less time to run your route there. But these are just options. Again, it's up to you as the coach to decide what's the best way to run across. All right, now just some quick cut-ups, because in the teaching progression, we would have shown you on paper just like we did, and now we're going to show the video thereof. Where we're going to the right on this, we're working right, middle, left, and he just quickly checks down to the back. He could have gone to that sooner even. Again, you can put a quick pass on the front side. You can do a lot of things with the front side. It's a very versatile play. So here is a cross left. Quarterback works to his middle. He didn't like his front side for some reason. Maybe safety capped it, and he works to his crosser. Same shot, totally different athletes here. Quarterback gets to his middle a little late, but still successfully and completes touchdown. Here we have a stick concept on the front side. Quarterback doesn't like it and instantly gets to the curl. This is really important to, we really encourage guys to get to the curl as fast as possible. So let's go ahead and dive into gun spread flex Y cross. Let's start out with the defense in a nickel defense. You can adjust the type of nickel it is. We're just going to do a normal over nickel. So it's a kind of a 4-2-5 type look. Again, if you're playing a team that runs a 3-3, change the defense is something you could do. But we're going to go into over, and then we're going to choose a random play in this formation. I think this is important to just choose your formation on defense and then select that random play. What that means is every time I run a play, rapid fire, the defense will reload into something different. So we're in a nickel look. We're going to do a random play, and here we go. So we're middled in the field. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but we got our play, Y cross. Let's go ahead and read this out, pure progression, left, middle, right. Here we go. Left, we got pressure off the edge. I didn't have to get very far in my progression. Can't go broke taking a profit, so they say. Left, got the same look. Sometimes the computer will give you the same look a few times, which is really good for both coaches and players to start to really lock into their brain. Again, I think it's important for you to verbalize left, middle. So now I've hit the out route and I've hit the U-SOM. I like to get a fade, but they're not giving me any press. Left, middle, that's a mistake. And now see right there, this is just free play time. And what I encourage the quarterback to do is to verbalize. You could be doing this as a coach and verbalizing it like me. You can model it one time and then have the quarterback sit there left. And they should be verbalizing exactly the progression. Now the other side of it too is they should instantly be giving you feedback about what made it successful or not. That's a next level. Can they give that to you right away? Left, middle, right. There we go. Work my way all the way back to the curl there. So in just about a minute, we've worked our full progression. Left, and we've been able to work all three of the main throws. Left, middle, back. There we go, finally hit him. So I'm still working left, middle, right, going to the flat that time. Left, got the shot, take it. Boom. So that hit a dopamine is also pretty fun too. When you score a touchdown in front of your coach, and here's the next step. As a coach, the number one question is, what did you see? What did you see that made you do that? And make sure that they're specific in telling you what they saw. So let's go ahead and get into some advanced ways of using this. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of this play. We're gonna press start. And all we're gonna do, let's start by changing the ball where it's at. Let's re-spot the ball. I think this is a really important thing. The reason I like to use NCAA for this over Madden is because the hashes are a little closer to high school. Let's put this ball in the 40 on the left hash, okay? So now we're ready to go. Same play, nothing's changed, but now we're, you know, what do they say, 60%, 80% of plays are on the hashes. So now we're on the hash, which is where most plays come from. We're still reading this out, nothing changes. We can see one high look. You can start to work through all your cognition, what you want your quarterbacks to do. You know, what's the safety surface? What's the front? Where are the linebackers? You know, who's your overhang? Who's your strong safety? What are the identifications? You could even get into personnel discussions here. So taking it to an advanced level, respot the ball, and then start having them go through their entire mental process, their pre-play checklist right here. So let's work this out. Left. Oh boy, that might be tight. Okay, and then I could say, what did you see there? Who made the tackle? The corner made the tackle. Why'd the corner make the tackle? He's in some type of cloud coverage. Left, middle, right. We have more field space. Good play by the cornerback in man coverage there, it looked like. Left, middle, right. Oops, should have got it to the back. I'm having trouble now. Now it's not as easy. Why? Because the angles are all different. I got used to something. Left, middle. So as you can see, again, respot the ball, run the same play, and you can continue your progression of teaching these guys. Left, middle, right, by the way, all the way back to the back. And in minutes, you have gotten multiple mental reps and the feedback required. Make sure they don't go on autopilot. Make sure that they're verbalizing every rep. What did you see? Left was uncapped. Sweet, then go left. All right, let's go ahead and take it to another level of advanced. All right, so another way that you can find a play quickly if you don't know the playbooks, and again, you can look at the slides that we put earlier in this video to see the formations. Also, check this website. They have the whole NCAA playbook online available. You can look at them all. But you can go to concept and go to deep pass, and then you have your crosses. So here are all our various crosses. Notice that the play might change. So let's go ahead and do this out of trips now, or some 3x1. Gun tray is what they call it. Don't really worry about tray. We're worried more about just the general shape of the defense. So now let's also change the defense. Let's go into a dime look. Changing the personnel on the field, maybe even making it harder in this application, in this 7-on-7 type vibe. So I'm gonna choose dime, and now I'm gonna choose random play. Make sure you don't choose random play before you go into the defensive formation. Otherwise, it'll just go into all the full playbook, which is fine sometimes, but you're gonna get like goal line type looks versus spread, which might be a little easy on the video game. All right, so now we're in trips. So now we're looking at this a little differently. We have a dime look instead of a nickel look. Some things have changed. Quarterbacks can go through what are they seeing, what type of coverage shell. Does this look a little zero to me? Kind of has the vibe of zero. I think I might get a pressure off the edge. You can have these conversations, right? Have this running dialogue with the quarterback. What do you think you're gonna see? When you run this enough, it starts to click in their brain, which can be really important, especially if you're doing this from January on, once a week. Pick a play, spend lunchtime in the coach's room, play some video games. So let's go ahead and work left, middle, right, our crosser left, from trips on the left hash versus a dime look. Here we go. Left, I like the post, let's take it. Oh, I didn't have time. Great observation now at the quarterback. All right, so back is free releasing on this play. Quarterback has less time. So that's a great opportunity to have that conversation with your quarterback. Left, middle, right. I like the right here, especially out of trips, so with all that space to the field. The curl is really often open in crosser. Know the buttons. Left, middle, right. So what are the limiting factors for a quarterback success? Sometimes they don't play a lot of Madden. That's a possibility, or NCAA. So they don't have the buttons, or maybe they're an Xbox user and getting onto the PlayStation, but at least they should be able to verbalize that I pressed the wrong button. I'm used to Xbox or whatever. Here we go. Left, middle. I like middle. It was sketchy. It was like a man coverage, and that might be something you would convert to a dig. We could talk about that later. Left, middle, right. A little late to the right, but it's not too bad. Again, so now you're seeing with a different look, one route is getting a lot more love than earlier in the game, which could be a super great teaching point for your quarterbacks. left, middle, right, pressure's up, left. Not enough time. One of the things you can do is you can go into your pre-play menu and you can change your pass protection. You could even do a hot route for the running back, and you can have him stay in and block by pressing R2. So now the quarterback can tell, I want more protection. When I look left, I'm not planning on hitting the back, which might be how you teach it anyway. But now you've created a new protection scheme with the hot routes available to you. Here we go. Left, middle, I like right. Can you get it there? Yeah, attaboy. Okay, pressure's coming. I don't want to hit the back. I'm gonna do a hot route. I'm gonna, by pressing triangle, I'm gonna choose my back. I'm gonna pass block. So now I have 6-man protect. Let's read this out. Left, middle, right. With the 6-man protect, I had the time to get the ball back to my curl route. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do our last bit of kind of the advanced look at specifically crosser. And today we're gonna run show that you can mix and match the front side tags on crosser. So crosser really becomes a, in fact, sometimes there's not a crosser in crosser. It's more important to think of crosser as an operating system of a play itself. You're doing a pure progression left, middle, right, and you can mix and match with your own creative thoughts on the front side. That it can be an Ohio concept. It can be bench type thing, like corner out. It can be really anything as long as you have room for a crosser coming backside and you have a curl. If for some reason you don't have a crosser on the backside, you still read it left, middle, right, just knowing that you don't have a middle. So what does that mean? Let's look at that. So right now we're gonna look at the play action Y cross. Very similar to what we've been doing. We'll go ahead and load up a nickel defense and have that on a random nickel defense. All right, and so here's the look that we have. Not a lot different. We have slot fade to the front side this time. Left, middle, get it up and over. There we go, right in that window for this. Slot fade left, crosser. So the progression still is the same. I just, as a quarterback and as a coach, you need to know that I have a different, maybe even timing. I'm also doing this off play action now, so the timing will be changed. It's not really a quick pass, and that can be susceptible to pressure at times. Left, middle, right. I'm coming all the way back to the right. Left, middle, let's take a shot. Ooh, left, middle, right. Oh my gosh, I'm getting heated up. So you saw me take a few sacks. Now it's time to hot route not only the running back here, but we can hot route the tight end. And this now becomes more of a traditional split back style of play. So let's go and hot route number 84. He's X. And let's go ahead and have him pass block. Now we've lost the crosser, but that's okay. You can still run slot fade this way. You can go slot fade to your curl, and you're still thinking left, middle, right. Even though there is no USOM or crosser on this play, let's go ahead and run a couple of these. Left, middle, right. I like the middle. There we go. So because, I'm sorry, I like the right. And the reason I like the right is because I had time to work that curl because my tight end, letter X in this case, a fullback. This is, kind of like a fast and wide style. We're not fast and wide right now. We're not wide at all here. But you can see how this plays out. If you have that style of spread where you're going to be like a 20 personnel team, if you run crosser this direction, you lose your crosser. Left, middle, right. I'm working all the way back to my right. And in this formation, you can see how it's a more condensed formation. Our circle receiver, who would normally be like our Z, he's going to be a little more almost in the middle. But that is kind of how the curl happens when you're running it from the boundary like that. So again, another good teaching progression, a way to make this advanced by realizing that sometimes crosser won't even have the actual crosser in the play, and you're really just working some type of frontside concept all the way back to your curl. Now, the final bit is this. We've hot routed for protection. The quarterback and the coach can sit there as a working together collaborative assignment, if you will, to come up with new concepts on the front side. So I can hot route square, who would be like your X here. We can change his route to a a go, and let's change triangle, the slot, into a speed out. We now have the kind of the original play we had at the beginning of the day. We now have Ohio cross left. So let's go and run that left, middle, right. I like the middle, it was sketchy. In real life, I would want that to be a little flatter. I can tell the quarterback that. All right, I'm gonna hot route those guys again. So I'm changing the play, so I have that shape. I can do really anything I really want with this shape. You know, if you're a team that runs a double post concept, you can hot route those two receivers, and now you have your double post concept built in, and I can go posts, which I need to get. Boom, good catch, there we go, boom. You know, one more concept we can think about working, we could go something like change the number 2 receiver to a corner, and the number 1 receiver to a speed out. Well, that's not a speed out. There we go. And so you get this type of shape. You know, it really doesn't matter what you do with it as long as it fits your teaching in the progression you want. So I'm working left. I like it. It's man coverage. There we go. Oh, and it's missed the throw. But I'm just working this left, middle, right mindset. And you don't need to get super hung up on the play. This is where the play becomes and the game becomes really advanced, because you and your quarterback can work things out and talk things out about why they didn't work and why they should have. There's a great opportunity to talk about how the Mike linebacker undercut the crosser. I should have been off the crosser instantly and back onto my curl. So let's work this again. Left, middle, right. I'm gonna work my back. Nothing was friendly. Check it down to the back. So as you can see, by mixing and matching hot routes, by mixing and matching play action, you can create a lot of different opportunities for your quarterback to work his progression. And again, this might be something you do on Friday nights in the off season with your staff. You guys get together and you just play the practice mode on NCAA, and you guys can talk about how long it takes to protect something. You guys can talk about different route combos you like. Hey, I really like slot fade from this kid. Hey, we have a great route runner that can run cross really well. Well, get in the end zone, kid. Get there, and have some fun with it. And that's what it really comes down to. We talked about this, but again, the question needs to be asked. How do your players learn, and what gets them excited? So hopefully this got you excited to go use video games to go teach Y cross. We'll have shorter videos coming up on all our concepts. How to use RPOs, how to use our 4-vert family of plays. And we'll go from there. Hey, this has been Coach Timbo B. Davis, and yeah, rock and roll. Let's play some more video games.